Hallöchen, 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 herzlich willkommen zu einem neuen Let's Play. Wir spielen mal kurz an 80 Days, ein Spiel, was sich um die bekannte Geschichte in 80 Tagen um die Welt, und sie ist leider nur auf Englisch verfügbar und ich werde es auch nicht on the fly übersetzen, ich werde es auf Englisch vorlesen. Es ist viel Text, wir erleben die Reise mit von, ich glaube, irgendwas mit Phileas Fogg war doch da, oder war das jetzt eine Kindergeschichte, die ich da gerade mir zusammenreime, egal. Auf jeden Fall seid gewarnt, es wird viel englischen Text geben. Und ja, wer des Englischen gar nicht mächtig ist, der ist hier nicht so recht richtig. So, dann fangen wir mal an. London, in die Zahlen 1872. I have entered into the service of a new gentleman. It would seem... Muss ich da draufklicken? Ja. It would seem he's a gambling man. Inkel presents... In association with Cape Guy. Directed by John Ingold und Joseph Humphrey. Script by Meg Jayanth. PC and Mac Edition by Ben Nicholson. Jome Illustration Tom Cale, Lawrence Chapman und Alan Dukes. 80 Days. Based on the novel by Jules Verne. Jules Verne natürlich. London. Da wird unsere Reise gleich beginnen. Vielleicht sogar jetzt schon? Ja, jetzt schon. London. Da können wir einfach nur beginnen. Beginnen wir unsere Reise. Monsieur Phileas Fogg returned home early from the Reform Club and in a newfangled steam carriage Besides, I helped him down and the iron-lunged, steam-driven horses clattered away. Passepartout, said he, we are going around the world. Jetzt können wir uns hier auch zwei verschiedene Sachen aussuchen. Entweder sagen wir, was, um die Welt, oder sehr wohl. Around the world, monsieur? I asked, utterly astonished. We shall circumnavigate the globe within 80 days. He was quite calm as he proposed this wild scheme. We leave for Paris on the 8:25 in an hour. But I have not prepared, I said wretchedly, quickly trying to organize a list of necessary items in my mind. Then do it now. Pack an altimeter and my evening jacket. There's not a moment to waste. Okay, wir, Passepartout, haben jetzt Geld und wir sind jetzt steadfast. Was das heißt, weiß ich gerade nicht. Auf jeden Fall sind wir es. Jetzt haben wir neue Routen entdeckt, von London nach Paris. Quickly, Passepartout, collect our things and we'll be off. So, dann packen wir. Und jetzt, Fogg's apartment. There was just a moment to seize anything further that I thought might be useful for a long trip. Wir haben jetzt auch nur begrenzte Packmöglichkeiten. Und wir sollten ja einen Altimeter mitnehmen. Das nimmt jetzt schon 2 weg. Und seine Abendjacke sollten wir mitnehmen. Jetzt können wir noch Spielkarten mitnehmen. Ein Wachszylinder. Recording of a Symphony. Oder ein European Shipping Timetable. Ich nehme mal das Shipping Timetable mit. Das könnte uns vielleicht noch hilfreich sein. So, dann haben wir alles gepackt. Und da haben wir eine neue Route entdeckt. Von Amsterdam nach, weiß ich gar nicht, kann ich gar nicht lesen. Und von Nizza nach Rom. Our completed Englishman's wardrobe should help us negotiate times of upper-class journeys. Dann haben wir noch Routen von Stockholm nach Helsinki, St. Petersburg und Warschau. Okay. Machen wir das mal weg. We must discover our route as we go. Onwards! Okay, wir kennen also unsere Route noch nicht. Wir werden sie entdecken, während wir unterwegs sind. Und ich würde sagen, wir reisen ab. Mit dem Amphitrite Express nach Paris. Fährt um 8 Uhr abends ab und kommt morgen in Paris an. Dann embarken wir unsere Journey. Departing now. The guard's van has space for 1 suitcase, which will suffice. Travel. This promises to be a bearable route. Also keine Probleme auf der Reise. Und damit fahren wir jetzt mit dem Amphitrite Express. Von London nach Paris. Wir haben 4000 Pfund. Es ist Tag 1, 9 Uhr abends und es ist Dienstag. The mechanical horses raced past Piccadilly Circus in Pall Mall, faster than a team of thoroughbreds. Even so, the whistle of the 8:25 was blowing as we pulled up to Charing Cross Station. Wir haben keine Tickets, oder? Wir fahren einfach wir rennen neben dem Zug her und werfen uns an Bord. Okay, das machen wir. We raced along the concourse and threw ourselves aboard as the second whistle shrieked its warning. We barely had time to take our seats before the guard rapped smartly on the compartment door. He held out a hand. Tickets, please. Alas, monsieur, we're in a great hurry, I explained, giving him a beseeching look. We did not have time to buy tickets. You may purchase them from me, the guard was saying. Though it's more expensive, I'm afraid. £85, please. I argued with him, or rather I began to, but Monsieur Fogg interrupted. Passepartout, you will pay the sum at once, he put in coldly, and remunerate this man for his patience. Okay, wir sollen ihn auch noch für seine Geduld bezahlen. Okay. I gave the man 100 and added a word or two of advice about allowing a little leniency to gentlemen in their hours of need. The guard gave me our tickets and slid the compartment door shut behind him with a pneumatic hiss. Und unser Geld ist um $100 gesunken. I'm on fine form, but we must make haste. Wir können uns jetzt unterhalten mit ihm. I'm at your service, Monsieur Fogg. Passepartout. Wir können mal übers Geld oder über die Reise reden. Wir reden über die Reise. But tell me, Monsieur, what's the purpose of a journey? I've made a hefty wager and I do not intend to lose. Also er hat eine Wette gemacht und er möchte sie nicht verlieren. Jetzt reden wir übers Geld. This journey will be most expensive, Monsieur. Indeed, but we can earn a little from buying and selling our possessions as we travel. Very good. Dann reisen wir weiter, jetzt mit einem Zug. London's smog gave way to rolling hills and the pastures of the Kentish countryside, still untouched by the hand of technological advancement. Entweder geht es jetzt weiter mit, dass er seine Zeitung liest, während ich unsere Sachen umpacke, oder wir haben uns einfach angeschwiegen. Nee, Monsieur Fogg read his paper whilst I repacked our bags, though together in haste and confusion. As afternoon turned inexorably to evening, I discovered that my master was one of those gentlemen who broke their silence rarely, if at all. A guard rapped on our door, a few miles before Dover. "We're about to submerge," he warned. "Take some people a bit funny, so watch out." What do you mean, submerge? I cried. "This is the London to Paris Amphitrite Express," he explained as though to a particular dim-witted child. "The submersible train? Talk all of the London papers?" "I must have missed it," I admitted humbly. "Missed it," he said scornfully. "Every inch of her has been examined and stamped with the artificial seal. This is the old words-only Bathyscape locomotive." I pressed my face to the window glass and the fins above the Amphitrite's wheels extended with a hydraulic hiss. Night fell and we plunged past the end of the track into the freezing water of the English Channel. So, jetzt sind wir unter Wasser, im englischen Kanal, aber jetzt müssen wir schon wieder über Wasser sein. Noch 120 Meilen. The Amphitrite plowed through the water overnight and splashed up onto wider gauge French tracks at Calais as dawn broke. "Do you have a route in mind, monsieur?" I asked as the water of the channel dried from the compartment windows. "I'm as yet undecided," my master admitted. "The new canal has sped up the shipping route from Suez to Bombay, though perhaps we could take the Trans-Siberian Railway across Russia." "Surely not Bombay," I explained. "We shall certainly wilt in the scorching heat." "Then we would do well to buy hats and linen trousers," he replied. "But there are other alternatives. We may also travel overland and across the Black and Caspian Seas." "Aber was ist denn die schnellste Route? But which is the fastest?" "I believe," said he, "that is what we shall put to the test." Parbleu! I scarcely knew what to think. We arrived at Paris, Gare du Nord, just after 1 o'clock. Automaton porters lifted our luggage and then our persons onto the platform with long, delicately filigreed iron arms. Paris, city of my heart. I was home, but not to stay. Haben wir neue Routen. Suezkanal, hier über Jeddah, über Aden bis nach Bombay oder von Moskau mit der transsibirischen Eisenbahn, was auch ein Erlebnis sein muss, über Ekaterinburg, Omsk, Irkutsk, Kamiskaya, Vladivostok. So, gleich sind wir in Paris angekommen. Some of our possessions could be sold handsomely here. We will have to explore Paris to find an onward journey. Also hier können wir jetzt was verkaufen, können jetzt auf den Markt gehen und könnten jetzt hier Sachen verkaufen, aber Eine Sell for 0, Sell for 0, Sell for 15, 220 oder 540 könnten wir es jetzt verkaufen. Wir können auch noch einen Koffer kaufen, aber dann, das weiß ich schon aus meinem Anspiel, müssten wir immer mehr zahlen, wenn wir dann reisen. Aber ich glaube, ich kaufe einen extra Koffer und kaufe den Wein. Der könnte nochmal nützlich sein. Traveling Cloak. Good for keeping out chill winds and heavy rain. Oder ein Shaving Kit. Part of the letting set. We need another case as well. Nee, nicht noch ein Koffer. Ganz bestimmt nicht. A set geometric drawing instruments. Precisely made and beautiful presented. Das nehmen wir mal mit. Und ich würde sagen, das war's auf dem Markt. So, da können wir noch ein bisschen erkunden, 4 Stunden lang. Da finden wir nämlich neue Routen. We had a few hours to spare. I asked Monsieur Fogg if I might enjoy my city before we had to leave. Indeed, and you should learn anything of note. Be sure to relay it. I nodded and headed into town. The talk on the streets was of one thing only, an enormous, elegant oval stadium constructed upon the green fields of Champ de Mars and containing the technological marvels, art, amusement parks and milling crowds of the World's Fair of 1872. I ventured inside the grand illuminated pavilions of the exposition. An artificer was replacing an arc light which had burned out. She first disconnected the strange machine powering the lights. It had a spinning iron wheel which was wound around with a series of armature coils. "What is that device, artificer?" I asked politely, my eyes straying on the copper lily pin which proclaimed her profession. "It's a bleeding nuisance, that's what it is," the artificer grumbled in a thick Yorkshire accent. Den kann ich leider nicht. "These gram machines are finicky beasts." "Gram machines?" I inquired. "Well, it's a... Oh, never mind," she waved my question away. "It's a steam engine, all right, but it doesn't make steam. Will that do? I hate explaining this stuff to laymen." The harshness of her tone was belied by her gentle touch as she unscrewed the arc light's globe of enameled glass and replaced the 2 carbon rods within. She reconnected the supply and the 10 yabble cloth candles connected in series lit up once more. "They are miraculous," I breathed. The artificer snorted. "They are hard work, that's what they are. Miracles indeed," but her mouth softened into a small, proud smile. She looked at her pocket watch, cursed and hurried off, dropping something as she went. Nehmen wir das mit oder geben wir es ihr? Wir geben es ihr zurück. I hurried after her to return it and she thanked me. "My medallion. I need that to get my lunch from the canteen. Thank you." Dann verbeugen wir uns. I bowed in return and she giggled. "Stop that, you make me blush." She rubbed the coin thoughtfully. "I was given this for my work in Istanbul, you know. I made a very special automaton. I think it works as a driver now, on the route up from Izmir. I think that's right." "An interesting tidbit," she smiled. "We artificers go all over the world, you know," she declared. "How about that?" Then she bid me farewell. Avenues sprawled in every direction between the inviting illuminated pavilions of the exposition. I headed towards the red and purple tents of the Artificers Guild, draped with banners and emblazoned with their copper lily sigil. A steam-powered automaton orchestra playing gleaming brass instruments, while a mechanical sommelier popped the cork from a champagne bottle and poured out bubbling over glasses for passing tourists. One of the artificers, had his hands deep inside a human-shaped automaton. Rummaging through its clockwork innards, he took out a piece of engraved glass and peered at it with a jeweler's loupe. "Dashed thing," he cursed in upper-class English tones, and then looked up. "Oh, hello." "I didn't mean to interrupt," I said politely. "Nonsense, young man," he waved the glass shard dismissively. "I'm trying to build an automaton that can cook, you see, but it's not going well." He looked mournful. "This one can even fry a chip." "How long have you been trying?" I asked. "It's been a dream of mine ever since I was a young lad at boarding school. It's why I became an artificer. The wistful tone dropped into horror. The things old Miss Parsons could do to a cabbage, the tender stomachs of Britain's youth, would be much safer in mechanical hands." "Do you cook yourself?" "Not a jot," the artificer remarked cheerfully, and then stroked his mustache. "Do you suppose that's the fly in the ointment?" He thumped me on the back. "Good thought, old chap. Perhaps I'll go and find myself a cook to model my automaton upon." The artificer smiled. I wished him well in his culinary endeavors. He was, at least, in the right city to find a cook, and returned to the center of the exposition, ears ringing with bombastic tunes of the steam orchestra. Crowds of tourists jostled and heaved past, their eyes wide with wonder. I took a stroll down the Avenue of Nations, with buildings in the styles of the nations of the world and manned by foreign delegates in a national dress. Although the newly formed German Empire was a conspicuous absentee in the city it had so recently conquered. The Austro-Hungarian delegation was being harangued by an artificer who looked to me like a farm boy from province. The artificer was pointing at one of the soldiers guarding the doorway and shouting in a terrible German, "Verboten! Verboten!" I peered at the soldier, who was sporting rather a fine mustache and a gleaming uniform so spotless that it looked almost polished. Merde. With a start I realized that he was not a man at all, but rather an automaton with an enamel-painted uniform and a pewter face. The artificer cursed. These Austro-Hungarians have brought their automata soldiers to Paris, even though war machines are expressly forbidden by the guild. Who knows what danger they might represent? I turned away hurriedly. My feet were tiring and the hour was growing late. I returned to Monsieur Fogg, who was eating a meal of plain boiled beef à l'anglaise. "Did you enjoy the exposition?" my master inquired diffidently. And I nodded. Nothing else could possibly... We are unspeakably lucky to live in such an age of invention, I declared. "It will certainly make it easier to win my wager," Monsieur Fogg replied mildly. I dreamed that night of mechanical wonders and automatons with beautiful enameled faces, knowing little of the strange inventions and stranger people I would soon encounter in my journey around the world. Neue Routen von Izmir nach Istanbul. So, the clock is ticking, Passepartout. We must decide our next steps quickly. So, wir können jetzt entweder einen Tag im Hotel bleiben, aber ich würde sagen, wir planen direkt die nächste Route. So, wir können jetzt nach Wien oder Nizza oder da nach Amsterdam. Ich würde sagen, wir fahren nach Wien. Kommt am Samstag an. Ich würde sagen, wir fahren nach Wien. I rather think this departure could be altered. Wir können jetzt hier verhandeln, negotiate. The Englishman's wardrobe should yield results. Most generous, no charge tomorrow. What? The ticket will require a further 250. Ah, das kommt jetzt nicht am Samstag an, sondern morgen. Oder was? Verstehe ich jetzt nicht. Ja, dann, Departs tomorrow. Achso, okay. Dann können wir jetzt noch eigentlich noch im Hotel pennen, ne? We'll pass the night here. We took a hotel for the night. We will be comfortable here, Monsieur Fogg remarked, but traveling overnight will often be more efficient. So we must board the longest journeys available. Perhaps, he replied, the short answer indicating, I think, that one-day journeys might often be more flexible in their timing and could allow for more connections. Still, the surrounds of the Hotel Ritz were most enjoyable. Hurry up, Passepartout, don't drop those cases. Dann departen wir. We arrived in Berlin. Irgendjemand ist in Berlin arrived. Und dann mal los. Dann embarken wir und müssen jetzt nochmal für $50. So. $50 nochmal extra zahlen für unseren zweiten Koffer. Boarding the Orient Express was an altogether calmer affair than our race to London had been. Mechanical porters loaded us through the windows, then snapped them shut with a delicate click. The train was extremely fast and could sweep us across the whole Europe, or at least as far as the Deutsches Kaiserreich, where the track currently ceased. At last, long whistle blew and we began our journey east. Wir können uns aber noch unterhalten. Greetings, Monsieur. Can I help you at all, Monsieur? I'm the guard on this train. Wir können mal über Wien reden. Pray, tell me about Vienna. There are strange rumors about the Austro-Hungarian Empire soldiers. Wir können jetzt von Wien nach Budapest mal fragen. Can you travel from Vienna to Budapest? I believe so. One can travel in a private car from Vienna to Budapest, but the journey is a tiring one. Wie sieht's nach Belgrad aus? Is there route from Budapest to Belgrade? Never mind that. The fastest way to Belgrade from here is to go via Budapest. Now tell me, The Orient Express is a fine train, is it not? Indeed! The very finest. I'm proud to serve aboard her, let me tell you. Budapest. Do tell me more about Budapest. Did you know merchants in Moscow will pay fantastic amounts for Absinthe from Budapest? Ah, das ist ja interessant. Wie sieht's denn aus mit Dubrovnik? Is it possible to go from Budapest to Dubrovnik? Now you listen to me. The quickest way to Dubrovnik from here is through Venice. Okay. Is it possible to travel from Budapest to Venice? Never mind that. You can obtain carnival mass in Venice that will sell for a fortune in Antalya. Aha, goodbye. So, dann haben wir noch eine neue Route nur entdeckt. Na, ich dachte, wir haben ein paar mehr entdeckt. Da fahren wir durch München. My master wished to be undisturbed, so as we left Paris. Und ich verriegle unsere Apartmenttür. I barred our compartment door. And we settled down to rest. Unsere Relationship, unsere Beziehung hat sich verbessert und wir sind jetzt es tut, was auch immer das heißt. Aber wir sind es. Hauptsache wir sind es. Wir sind jetzt durch München gefahren und kommen jetzt in Wien an. We arrived at Vienna in the early hours of the morning. The customs officials insisted on searching our bags for, of all things, artificing tools. I queried the official. Foreigners are forbidden from making automata within the borders of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, he repeated with a bored expression. A strange state of affairs, but I was hardly an artificer, so it mattered little. The sun rose in the sky as we left the station, illuminating the wide, tree-lined avenues of Vienna in pale, welcoming light. Und das soll es für die erste Folge gewesen sein. Ich glaube, eine Folge mache ich noch und dann könnt ihr mal sagen, ob euch das gefällt oder eher nicht so. Und dann spiele ich es halt alleine weiter. Ich danke euch fürs Zusehen. Bis zum nächsten Mal bei 80 Days. Macht's gut. Tschüsschen!